I'm going to go ahead and go over Science Bellwork Week 14, Day 5. Remember, I'm collecting Bellwork this week, so make sure you guys have your 5 days of Science Bellwork in your Science Bellwork note for the week. Part A just wants us to use the word bank right here to complete the paragraph. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And there we go. So it says tides are caused by the gravitational pull of the moon and the sun. When the moon and the sun are aligned, they produce, we have these 4 options. So remember we talked about this the last couple days where we were introduced to 2 specific types of tides, spring tides and neap tides. Spring tides are when the sun, the moon, and the earth are all in alignment, because that's when we have our greatest tidal range, or highest high tides, lowest low tides, because they're pulling on earth from the same direction, which creates more of a gravitational pull. So when the moon and the sun are aligned, they produce what would be spring tides. Or tides with the biggest will either be neap tides, navigate, or tidal range. Remember those spring tides, that's where we have our highest high tides, lowest low tides, so that would be considered a tidal range. When the sun, the moon, and the earth are at right angles to each other, they produce, well, we know spring tides are produced when moon, sun, and earth are all in alignment. So this would be the opposite of the spring tides, which would be neap tides. And then through process of elimination, last one, let's make sure we read this sentence though. Sailors predicted these tides so they could better blank through dangerous waters. Process of elimination, last one left, navigate. So there's part A. Part B, the chart below shows the early morning low tides and evening high tides for Monterey Bay, California in June of 2009. Use it to answer the questions. So it wants us to find the lowest tides occurred during which phase of the moon. Lowest tides. So here's our low tides. During which phase of the moon? Lowest low tides. So negative excuse me, negative 1.9 feet looks like the lowest, and that occurred during a new moon. On which date did the spring tides occur? Spring tides, those are your highest high tides, lowest low tides. So lowest low tides right here on June 22nd. Looks like there's the highest high tide, so that would be June 22nd. On which date was the tidal range the least? So that means the least difference between low tide, high tide. Looks like it would be June 16th, because not that much of a difference between 2 feet compared to 4.8 feet, considering the rest of these measurements between high tides and low tides. So I would say number 3 would be June 16th. And there's your science Bellwork, week 14, day 5. Again, make sure you guys have all 5 days of Bellwork in your science Bellwork note for this week, and turn that note in. Easy 10 points. See you guys.